Make me holler.
Okay, now we need to
Make me lose my
get into the
zap, 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 zap.
Zap, zap, zap.
We did that for work once where they're like, just like release the giggles, and I know everyone's like, nobody wants to be here. There's no giggles whatsoever. No one's giggling.
But we want to be here.
But we want to be here. And then somebody was like, we're gonna do the play circle. So we all got in a play, and it was I had to throw my sound to you, and then you had to throw your sound to somebody else. So I'd be like, zap, Thomas.
Zap.
And then you'd have to say zap,
Bing.
bing, and then say the next person.
Oh, zap bing. And then you'd say zap bing bong.
Yeah, whatever the next noise I would.
And the next person would be zap bing bong zoo.
Yep, something like that.
Zap bing bong zoo song.
Yep.
Okay, let's go.
Anything.
Zap.
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
I'm
Zap.
Ready. Zap. Bing.
I'm ready. Zap bing.
I'm ready. Zap bing bong.
Why is it always bing bong?
Bing bong.
Bing bong always follows bing.
Yep. Chandler Bing.
I'm ready. Zap bing bong zoo.
I'm ready. Zap bing bong zootopia.
I'm ready. Zap bing bong zootopia.
Welcome back to FU. I'm Zach.
And this is Thomas.
We're two flamingly unfiltered queers who've known each other for over 10 years.
We tend to laugh through the trauma and the drama.
So join us while we discuss all things queer, recent pop culture events, and whatever else we want. And I literally put honey on it because that's like a trick, and then used Scotch tape and taped it up, and it healed itself.
Honey heals broken limbs?
Yep.
Interesting.
Yep. Honey is the cure for everything.
So I was just explaining how this one plant, our friend Margaret gave it to us, and it was like, yeah, a hospice plant.
It was a hospice plant, and I was like, I'll see what I can do. And then it grew like 6 inches. And then I was like, oh, goody, it's alive, it's fine. And then Beans got excited, wagged his tail, and cracked it, but it wasn't fully ripped off. And I was like, fuck, that sucks. It worked so hard to get 6 inches big.
Yeah.
And so then I just painted it with honey and literally took Scotch tape and then like a little pencil, I think, just to like keep it like a brace, basically. And now it's like 8 feet tall.
Now it's like, and Zach said it's supposed to be a bush, but it's just one vine.
It's just one little,
so funny.
One little string. That's why I put those blue strings up there, so it had something.
And the leaves are just like that because they look wilty.
Yep, it's supposed to.
It just looks like that.
Yeah, I could probably give it a shot of water, but that's what they do.
It is so funny. They do look like they're like, help, help.
Yeah, struggling for water, and so eventually it's probably gonna grow, hopefully over the fireplace.
Yeah.
And then if I have to repot it, I think I'm screwed. It's also got an antenna.
You have a couple plants like that. If you have to repot them, you're screwed.
Yeah.
Because they're like ingrained to our house now.
Yep, like the Scindapsus on the
like
wall.
That one right there.
Oh, yep, that one as well. Yeah, it's also got a car antenna on it for a brace.
Resourceful.
I found a car antenna in the free box, and I was like, I know what I can use this for.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
You mean it's not our car antenna that you broke off?
I need a brace. You're like, why doesn't the radio work?
Oh, well, welcome back to the podcast.
Hello.
Another wonderful episode.
Our regularly scheduled programming.
On such a hot day.
Yeah. I was like, I'm going to get so much shit done this weekend because we have nothing going on. And then I step outside and I'm like,
But we finally got this AC unit, like a little mini one for upstairs, which we haven't used because it hasn't been too hot. But last night we used it.
All right.
And it was good.
I want to know what our walls are stuffed with, because I think they used to do hay or like hair and newspaper.
Well, the attic, the insulation is just on the ground.
Yeah, it's just laying on the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah. We could probably
need to put that up
I'm gonna throw
into
that
the
shit
actual
away because it's scary. I think it's all fiberglass
Well, that's
insulation.
what insulation is.
Well, I think they updated it so it's less itchy, but I don't know.
Yeah, I know whenever Alice gets up there, I'm like, fuck, we're fucked.
Right.
Because we have to rush her, and then
Well, and she's such
we get itchy.
She's such an asshole. She goes straight for the furthest rightest corner where I can't get to.
Fiberglass.
I'm climbing over our junk and in the fiberglass. I'm like, cool, now we both have to shower.
Yeah.
Jeez.
You could just get that like foam insulation.
Yeah, that's what I want to do. Yep.
That you just like spray in there.
Welcome to Insulation Talk with Zach and Thomas.
You're two queer insulators here.
That's actually what that's why we're calling you guys. This is our last episode because we've started a new insulation business.
Where we insulate the public from the straights.
Just spray foam over some straight person. Yeah. They're like, what the fuck?
The straight person was here. We have comments.
Comments. We haven't
Multiple.
had comment corner. Multiple.
Sarah commented again.
Okay.
And said fireworks should be illegal. They are loud, triggering, not good for the environment, dangerous, and not cool to look at. I agree.
I think they're pretty, but then like the pros and the cons definitely are not equal. You know, like, oh, pretty firework, but then yeah, like all the shit, and they're so dangerous. Like,
but I have never been just like ooh-awed by a fireworks display. Like even if I am ooh-awed by a fireworks display, like I can watch that on TV.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
also,
there has been so many firework displays throughout the whole history. You can just Google and be like, pretty fireworks display, and then watch them there.
Jumping ahead because I don't have one, so I'll use it. What should be illegal is you sending me a Snapchat of the fireworks show.
Yes.
Illegal. Or putting it on your story, and then it's like the whole thing. It's like,
well, that's what I'm saying.
I've been to a 4th of July fireworks show. I'm currently at one in St. Cloud. You're currently at one in Hutchinson. I don't need to see yours. I see mine, and I don't care. And then it sounds awful. It doesn't look as great on your Snapchat. Illegal.
Our second podcast from our second Can you tell I have 0 caffeine in me? Actually, a C4 could do wonders.
I was thinking a Monster sounds delicious.
Okay. While Zach's away, I can show you my nails. You see those? Yeah? Yeah? Thanks. Okay. So another comment was from Cassidy Phoenix 1361. Wait, I've never seen this podcast, but I love this antique store and go there semi-frequently. I can't believe this was recommended to me.
Ah.
Yeah.
So like the algorithm. Who is this person? Or we don't know?
We don't know. Cassidy Phoenix 1361.
Do we know you? Thank you for joining and commenting.
Yeah, I don't think we know her.
Oh, no. I don't know her.
This one, no, all of the internet.
Who said that?
This reminds me of when I'm showing you a TikTok. And you're like, who is that? I'm like, the internet.
Somebody on the
It's
internet.
TikTok.
Like, you don't know them? You're like, no, I have no idea who this random person is.
Do you know the FYP? But yeah, I think that commenter probably didn't watch the episode. That's totally fine. But she did click in to comment, and that's what we care about.
That's fun.
Oh, also, speaking of comments, Spotify, you can comment now.
Ooh.
That wasn't a thing before, so now you can comment on Spotify as well, folks.
Comment on all the things.
So write in, what do you want to hear about?
Yeah, that's fun.
I mean, you can.
Yeah.
I have a TikTok to start off because it sets the tone so well.
Is it more hobby horsing?
No, it's not. Hobby horsing.
Are you a part of the LGBTQ plus community? Honey, I am straight. I like women, honey. I am a straight, feminine man. Honey, I am just as straight as Megan Thee Stallion is tall. Bow. I am so straight, I make The Rock look like RuPaul. Bow. Category is heterosexuality. I'm straight like lines on notebook paper. Straight like a bamboo tree. Bow. I can give you hetero. I can give you sass. Bow. I can give you femme, and I can give you mask. Bow. My energy, feminine, like a mermaid from Atlantis. Bow. My wrist, limp, just like a praying mantis. Bow. These gays that try to get with me can all sashay away. Bow. These gays think they ate, but there's still food on that plate. Bow. I'm feminine and I'm hetero, and all I do is thrive. Bow. You gays think you slayed, but honey, I am still alive. All I want is women. 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 Hetero, 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 hetero. Give me that lady. Give me that lady. Give me that lady, lady. Give me that lady. Give me that lady, lady.
Hetero.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Hetero.
We say
hetero.
that. We say
Honey,
that.
I'm straight.
Hetero.
Hetero.
We say that all the time. Every time I'm like, I put oil in the car, and you're like, ooh,
Hetero.
hetero.
Yeah.
Like,
It's in the lexicon for sure.
Right. I'm like, oh yeah, I changed the light bulb. Hetero. Maybe.
Yeah, why is that song stuck in your head?
So I saw a TikTok of Bette Midler being interviewed. She's kind of being interviewed more. There's rumblings of Hocus Pocus 3. So
I haven't even seen the second one yet.
I would say 6 out of 10. They use a lot of the lines from the first one, the witches, and then it kind of just introduced a whole new storyline of new witches, which I think is a good, cool thing. I don't know. It didn't have the same magic. And then it also made it very final. Like the ending was very final. So I'm like, how can you pull out a third?
Yeah.
Like, I get magic. You can do whatever you want.
Which came first, the chicken or the egg? So did Charm copy?
Yeah.
I mean, it's the Holy Spirit.
Yeah. That's
like it's a very
the most evil witch ever.
Well, why did they make it a pentagon? You know what I mean?
So the whole point of the story was Bette Midler was getting interviewed and she loves Tyla. She's like, I'm obsessed with her. She's like, she's a musical genius.
That's why that song's on your head.
Like, she's like, she's stunning. She's so talented. She's a musical genius. She knows exactly what she's doing. And Bette Midler's like, I'm obsessed with her. And I'm like, I would die if Bette Midler was like, I love you.
I love that. I love it when older people get into younger people things.
Yeah. And they like are stoked.
Like, yes. Art is art no matter what. Yeah. You know what I mean? I feel like so many old people are like stuck like, oh, I only listen to 70s. And
I only listen to Leonard Skinner, nothing else. And it's like, okay, like
I just couldn't not. I have to know what's coming out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Did you know
new music is so fun?
Well, and it's very common that after the age of 30, your musical brain kind of shuts off and you just keep what you've listened to. And I feel like you're the only one who listens to new stuff and
Hold up, I'm only 31.
No, but I'm saying, but I only listen to podcasts.
I'm not that old.
You're an elderly old man. No, but I'm saying, it's a compliment.
I know.
You keep up with the music. I only keep up with podcasts. So if you weren't,
yeah, but you've never been super.
If you weren't around, I wouldn't listen to music ever.
That's not true. You listen to. I feel like because of TikTok.
Or that's true, I guess. We get a little bit of.
You would have never heard that song.
That's true.
Because of TikTok.
Or Ira.
I think TikTok also keeps me, and I know like people say like TikTok's not all music. So true, so valid. But like find me another app that promotes music the way TikTok does.
Yeah.
Where, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I get music, not only just popular music from TikTok, but I find the niche shit on TikTok too. Like that's where you promote that. You know what I mean?
Like
it used to be called Musical.ly. Like that's what it was.
Lily, is that you? She's great.
Yeah, a lot of like DJ mixers. Yeah. That's my algorithm for sure.
Yeah.
Like I'll listen to a DJ set that's an hour long. I love when, a DJ is just mixing in the next song and stuff. Love that. But anyways, we saw a Cybertruck.
Oh my god. That was the tackiest thing ever. I was like,
there must be one in St. Cloud.
I saw the lights and I was like, what the hell is that? I thought somebody was on like a Forerunner or whatever on the road, and then my brain clicked and I was like, that's gonna be a Cybertruck. Ugliest fucking thing I've ever seen in my life. I'm like, it's not even funny.
I think I've seen colored ones now where they paint it pink or whatever. I think if it has a wrap on it, like a pink, that looks okay.
It polishes the turd.
It does polish the turd.
Yeah.
I don't think that the design is cute. I think that people that think that the design is cute are fucking weird.
Yeah.
Like, I get being one of a kind, but we can take one of a kind and make it not look like a toy truck.
It looks, and it's such the cliche, it looks like a child's drawing. Maybe that's what Elon was doing. He's like, I drew this when I was 3.
It just doesn't look.
And I want to make it now because I'm a billionaire.
Like, you can't tell me it's more aerodynamic.
Yeah, it
because
can't
it's
be.
not.
It's
And I
definitely
get
just
that
a
it's
show.
like all terrain. So all terrain, you don't want, you know, the goal isn't aerodynamic with all terrain, right?
I don't know.
Is it an all terrain vehicle because it's a truck?
I don't think it could go in water.
Excuse me. I meant like
the earth.
On land.
Oh, okay. I was like, I don't think it can be like a swimming item.
No.
Okay.
Cart a boat
Cart a boat.
to plane.
Grows wings.
Such a Spy Kids like thing.
Yeah.
Where they were like a helicopter and then it turned into a submarine or whatever.
Right.
Hang on! I'm coming to get you!
Autopilot re-engaged.
And then it
so
turns
cool.
into a pair of shoes.
Yeah. A pair of shoes. Google Gadget.
Oh,
I love that movie too.
that's a good movie.
I should actually rewatch that one because
Yeah, Megan Trainor's husband is a little boy. What else you got?
I was just going through my camera roll, as one does,
Reminiscing.
reminiscing memories. And we talked about Zach's garden, but we forgot to mention Zach made a diglet out of
yes.
cement. And that thing is so fucking cute. I actually think, I think it's too cute to put on the outside of the garden because I think it would get stolen.
Well, it's like 80 pounds, so I guess
somebody can just drive by and hoof it in there.
If I'm determined enough, I guess.
Yeah. But it looks so cute. Perfect addition.
I was like, I need to bring some of Thomas out to the gardens. And so I was like, some Pokemon. And now Thomas is like, make it, what is it, Dig Trio?
A Doug Trio,
Doug Trio. I'm like, nah, I gotta do that.
Or you could make that a Doug Trio. But that almost, I think Diglett, I think Diglett's, like the poster child for ground Pokemon.
Yeah.
And if you put a Doug Trio, like people are like, oh, cute Diglets.
Plural, yeah.
You know what I
just
mean?
3 Diglets. Well, because, I'll figure it out.
Because it is 3 Diglets.
Yeah.
So I don't think people will be like, oh, it's a Doug Trio.
Like they're like meerkats, like a little clan.
Yeah.
A little group.
I feel like that's what they are.
Yeah.
Now I want to play Pokemon.
Okay, goodbye everyone.
No, this episode we are not gonna go over because I had to trim out so much bullshit out of the last one.
We had so much to talk about.
Yeah. But like stop.
We've been going for 6 months.
We went off about Sacred for like 20 minutes.
Dude, we do that all the time.
And I cut that shit out because I'm like, we are not sponsored.
Yeah.
I got you Sacred for your birthday. That's fucking it. Because I'm like, it's award winning.
We did that about a whole thing. We did that about a whole topic, and you're like, I did the research, I did the digging, and this was 6 months ago. I'm like, then delete it. Yeah. That's embarrassing. I was like, I swear to God, this is brand new information. Yeah. Thomas is like, nope, that was like 4 months ago, and I was like, get it out of here, just take it out.
Did we talk about in our last episode? Oh fuck! Because I was going through my camera roll again, and I found these from the videos that you sent me. That's why I'm talking about this stuff. Because you sent me videos, and I was going through my camera roll, and I'm like, "Oh, these aren't my videos; these are Zach's videos."
I sent you videos of Lost in the Forest.
Well, and
on our day trip for my birthday,
and Reggie and Beans in the cow field.
Oh yeah,
that was so funny.
Reggie was obsessed. So
I don't think we talked about that.
I don't think so either. We went to the Thomas's parents' farm for Lisa's birthday.
Yeah.
/ my birthday.
Yeah. For vacation, yeah.
Reggie and Beans were loving the big space because they have a huge field and it's just a huge
love
space.
It when we go there.
And then they have cows. Well, Reggie's such a douchebag. He's like, fucking cows, and he was like chasing them around, chasing them through the water, and I was like, oh no, he's gonna chase them through muddy poop water.
Yeah.
And so I was like, Reggie, because he's already gross and dirty from all the dust. But I'm like, I do not have the mental capacity to bathe Reggie in cow poop water.
Yeah.
I was like, oh fuck no. But then he came back, and then they saw a rabbit, and the electric fence was on, and Beans nose touched the electric fence, and then he was like, "Meep," and started barking at the fence. So that was kind of funny.
I wish.
Poor Beans.
And we all saw this from the upstairs, like 100 meters away or something.
Yeah.
A football. No, not a football.
No.
Half a football.
Yeah.
Fields away.
I'm like, this was such a shit show just to go show Reggie the cows.
And so, like, when you walked back, I was like, we need to tell them that the electric fence isn't working.
Well, we found out.
Because I didn't see any of that.
Oh.
And I didn't hear any of it because it was so far away. So I just didn't think it was working.
Oh.
Because they went through and then came back and it just looked like without incident.
Well, that's what, yeah, they did. They both went under the fence.
Yeah.
So I think maybe the top one was
They went
on.
through under the fence and that was fine. They didn't touch it, right?
Yeah.
But when they came back is when they touched it.
Yes. But
Yeah.
then Reggie saw a rabbit and started chasing it out of the fence, and he like glided through the air. Like he was like streamlined Felcor through it, but then his legs nicked the bottom one and kicked it up, and it was just like a plume of dog hair. Like it like shaved his crotch area, and it was like, this has been the biggest. And then yeah, Beans
the biggest shit show.
The biggest shit show ever, just to go take the dogs for a little walk.
To see the cows,
To see
because
the
it
cows.
is funny. They look, and Beans like is just like,
Beans is super curious about the
Yeah.
cows, but he's like,
and
they're
Reggie's
way,
like, ah.
they're way big, too big.
Yeah.
And then yeah, Reggie didn't even register the electric fence because he was chasing the rabbit. But it was just this huge.
I think, yeah, it must have just grazed his skin and
Yeah.
pulled out the loose hairs. That's so funny.
Yeah, so I'm like, let's go inside now. My blood pressure has skyrocketed. Let's go. And the poor cows are like running away.
Yeah, those poor freaking cows.
Reggie's such a bully.
Oh yeah, here it is. When I was riding with Arya, and then your video with Piper.
Oh yeah. She was throwing she found a random wire on the floor on the ground, like by the burn pit, and she was playing fetch with a wire. We went to go see my favorite podcast, It's Always the Husband, live at the CC Club in Minneapolis. Highlight of my summer so far.
Yeah, of the freaking year.
We went with Thomas's sister Megan, and it was so funny and it was so good, and we got to meet them, and I was just like fangirling. Like I was just like, I don't even know what to do. And then Sarah was like, the episode was over, and she went into the audience and was like, talking to people and asking where they're from. And then she comes up to us and is like, I could tell she was like kind of nervous. She's like, hey, where are you guys from? And we're like, St. Cloud. And she's like, I think it kind of clicked. And then Thomas goes, what did you say? We're the Harrington gays, or what? How did you word it?
I was like, do you remember the Harrington brothers?
Yeah. So there's a story they talked about us on their podcast because we donated to their Patreon, and then I donated first and Thomas donated second.
Yeah.
And then they're like,
Thomas Harrington, another Harrington from Falcon Crest. Thank you so much. And
Harringtons, are you related? Are you married? Are you brothers? Who are you?
the Property
We have
Brothers.
To know.
Nobody
Are
knows.
You...
Like we said, we looked up Property Brothers once to Google something about them when we were watching, and it said Property Brothers. What did it say? Raquel.
Drew.
Come
and
here. What did it say
what's
about
other
the
one's
Property
name?
Brothers
Jonathan?
when we Googled them?
Jonathan and Drew Scott.
What did it say when we Googled?
It said, are the Property Brothers gay? Are they married? Or are they twins?
Yeah, gay, married, or twins. That's what came up first. Gay, married, or twins. I'm like, isn't gay and married the same? And then twin. I mean,
Obvious.
yeah. I mean, just it was like, oh my god,
Stupid.
that's what came up
assholes.
first. We were dying, and
So Harrington brothers.
yeah.
tell
Sorry,
us.
we don't want to just yeah.
yeah, they shouted
Yeah.
us out, and then we made a TikTok based off of that comment.
So Harrington brothers.
Yeah,
tell
sorry,
us.
we don't want to just yeah.
We're like
To like show, yeah.
to show like, but it was just funny because then they like called that out. Then on the next episode,
Yeah.
they're like,
We did learn that our beloved Harringtons are not brothers.
From
They are
Dynasty,
young
yes.
marrieds.
They're young marrieds.
They're gonna have their 5th anniversary this summer.
Yay!
So welcome. We love you both, Zachary and Thomas. And they're from Minnesota, so they have terrible accents like us, I bet.
Oh my God. And we
Yeah.
laughed so hard that they did a TikTok for us.
I know, we were
and
dying.
We
I
died
laughed.
of laughter.
Yeah. It was so cute.
You were gay and married, but not brothers.
Absolutely not. This is Minnesota, not Arkansas. Sorry, Arkansas. Oh, gosh.
And then it clicked that we're the Harrington gays, and Sarah was just like so excited, and that we came, and I was very excited that she remembered us.
She's like, "Who's Zachary?"
Oh yeah, because like my profile picture is both of us.
You've commented, I'm sure, and you still. I don't donate because I'm like, it is a little going above and beyond. We could have both donated, but I'm like, we've got one.
No, I want them to go until I'm dead. So
right. Yeah, so what had happened was my I got a new debit card or whatever.
Oh yeah.
So just canceled. I'm like, well, I'll just keep it off.
Leave it alone.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was really fun. That was a highlight, and we got to meet both of them and take pictures with them, and we'll put those pictures in here.
That was so fun.
Well, and it was shitty because it was also Layla's birthday party, and I was like, do we ditch Layla or do we ditch the podcast? And I was like, who knows if they'll do it again? It's their first one.
We saw Layla too.
I want to brag and say I went to their first one, and
they
then
went to the roller rink. What were you gonna do?
And it was free. And yeah, I don't want to hang out with children
at the roller rink.
At the roller rink, I'm not gonna rollerblade.
Traumatic experiences happened.
I'm gonna fall down.
Were you good at rollerblading?
No, my cousins tried teaching me once. My neighbor girl tried teaching me once. And they were like the four wheels. It was like the Fisher Price chunky ones.
Yeah.
And I kind of got that, but then I didn't keep going with it. And then my cousins tried teaching me, and I fell once and hit my head on the cement. And I was like, never again. Fuck it. I'm not doing this ever again.
So you haven't rollerbladed ever?
Since I was like 8, 10.
That is so interesting. It's very similar experience, except I was able to. I've fallen.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't hit my head, but I'm able to skate in a line, but I can't really turn.
See, and my thing is if I hit a rock and then biff it on the sidewalk in front of people, I will just cry the whole way home.
I've only roller skated in a rolling rink.
Oh yeah.
Which the skate in place. That's what it is.
Yeah.
I've only skated in that.
Oh, got it.
Environment. For school, we went to the roller rink. Did you do that?
No.
Traumatic.
Oh really?
Because everybody's just
going hard.
Zoom in. And I mean, yeah, there are people that were worse than me too, but it's not fun.
See, even if we went to go to the roller rink for Layla's party and I did rollerblade, I'd want one of those little walker things.
Yeah.
So that would be me with the little children and all the children are zooming by me.
I mean,
Layla's zooming by me.
Yeah,
and
I wouldn't
me.
be embarrassed now, but I just wouldn't do that.
I just wouldn't. Yeah. So yeah, so we ditched my 8-year-old niece. It's opportunity.
We didn't ditch her though.
I know, but I'm just saying
we saw her, we gave her a present, we hung out with her for a little bit.
Right.
We didn't ditch her.
A little, yeah. Just the party. But
yeah, we didn't go roller. I don't.
Yeah, we wouldn't have gone anyway. But yeah, I'm like, when will this opportunity come up ever again? Or if it does, and I'll be bummed out. So
I'm saying kids get to a certain age and they want nothing further than their friends. You know what I mean?
True.
And I think that's.
You're saying Layla doesn't want to solely hang out with me?
Yeah.
Oh, weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was super exciting. And I just had so much fun.
It was so much fun.
Yeah. I really hope they do it again. And then we are going no matter what's happening.
For sure.
End of the world, we're going.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so let's go into our garage sale. Or unless you have topics to talk about beforehand.
No.
Okay.
I don't, because I was like, this will take up a lot of time. So
so we had 5 total days.
Where's my
Wednesday morning. We kind of talked about this.
Yep.
The first day was Wednesday morning. The first day of music in the park, which it gets really busy on Wednesdays near our neighborhood because the whole town of St. Cloud comes for this free concert essentially of local bands, sometimes famous ones, I guess.
Yeah, the Armadillos, whatever their name is.
I don't remember.
I don't know either. Anyway.
And so that was the first day, but Zach opened. He had Wednesday off because he had taken off for vacation, and so he opened with his mom by themselves, and I was working. We kind of already explained this.
Yep.
And that day was busy, but we're going to talk about the people that came and
Yeah.
the stories we have, because it was like we should have and I know that's weird to like record people, and we wouldn't have, you know, not necessarily to like show, you know, the world,
We could have blurred
but
out
to
their
like
faces.
or yes, blurred out faces, or like just retold stories better,
Right.
because there's probably 200 people that came through.
Yeah. It was really busy.
Oh, especially that Wednesday. But like in total, how many people in total do you think? Like 300?
Probably
200?
Yeah.
You think?
Except Sarah's cousin. Does she still? She only counts as one.
No, yeah, she's 250.
Yeah.
And like 150 of those 200 had crazy ass personalities.
Yeah.
There's this one guy that like came. I wasn't here for this, but we had this gold shimmery tablecloth, which actually a couple people did. Like it was reflective gold,
So
and it was really sunny.
just from my professional garage sailing expertise, I thought of things that would draw people in, and one of the things is if they have flags,
Yeah,
like the party banners.
Yeah,
That's like an instant. Like if you got that extra cash for a party banner, this is going to be a good sale. Or fun, funky tablecloths,
Yeah.
and then it also just makes it look more polished and like makes it look nicer and
Yeah.
organized. Like bright signs. Like I said, I'm a professional, so I was like, I'm gonna get gold. It's like foil
yes,
tablecloths, and then it makes us look rich.
Yeah.
which we are, but.
And this dude, well, you tell the story because I wasn't there.
Mom was just sitting there like, wait, you know, she was in charge of money, and I was still putting stuff out and talking to people about plants if they had questions, whatever. And he was like talking, and came in hot, and he was kind of a douchebag. And he was like looking at stuff and looking at stuff, and he's like, it's really hard to shop with this gold tablecloth. He's like, I can't even see. And my mom's like, look away from the tablecloth. It's like it was like he was like looking into the sun, like directly looking to the sun. It's like,
Which
look away for a second.
kind of, because it was the reflection of
But
the
it's
sun.
also like, even I went out there when it was really sunny, and it wasn't
you just cover the tablecloth up. You know what I mean?
or just like, yeah, give it a beat, like look away for a second and then look back, and then like
Or pick up the object that you're looking at.
pick it up. Like you shouldn't just be like, oh, I can't see. I can't see looking at this bright tablecloth, looking at this item. It's like, pick it up then and put it in your front of your face.
It is very.
And my mom was like, that was kind of rude and like, I don't know, very abrasive. I mean,
Well, and like, heaven forbid there's some sun at your garage sale.
right, exactly.
You know what I mean?
It's beautiful outside. Darn it.
Like, yeah. Just so funny. Oh, sorry, sir. Let me shut the sun off for a second.
Right, or let me just rip up.
Like
let me take off all the stuff from the tables, rip off the tablecloth, and put all the shit back.
Was he
for
wearing
you.
sunglasses?
No.
I would have goofed on him for that. Why aren't you wearing sunglasses, fucking loser?
Right, but then he was like complaining about it, and then he bought like 5 things.
Yeah.
So, like, okay, couldn't have been too bad. But that was a funny first lady. But the first lady,
He's like, I couldn't see these things, but I want to buy them.
I'm so blind at whatever the price is, I'll pay it. We're like $700.
Oh, and explain the one lady.
The one lady. This was
Which I didn't witness either, so I'm glad.
the most stressful story. This lady comes in, zooms up on our garage sale, parks basically in front of the garage sale, which is fine because the parking situation is weird. And she comes up and we're like, hey, like, hi, welcome, whatever. And she's like, hey, having a garage sale, you know, makes dumb small chit chats, start talking. But then she starts picking shit up and is like, what's this? And we're like, a book. And she's like, why? We're like, what do you mean why? Like, she was like acting like this, and she's like, what is this for? And we're like, reading? And then she would like pick up another item, and it was like an electronic, and I was like, I think it's for this. And she's like, well, what do you use it for? And I'm like, the electronic things. And then she was like picking up like really common basic things, like I said, a book, a canvas, and then she picked up this neck thing, and it's one of those neck it's like a cell phone holder that you wrap around your neck, and then you can lay in bed and watch Netflix or read a book or something like that. And she's like, what is this for? And we're like, oh, blah blah blah. And I explained what it does. And she's like, why would you need that? And we're like, to lay in bed and watch Netflix. And she's like, well, why? What is this for? And then she kept talking.
Not for you, lady.
Not
Move
for you.
on.
Clearly, if you don't know what it is, and if you don't want it, and you don't know what it does, put it down. Well, then she like,
There aren't objects that I would be interested in
at every
at a
single
garage sale.
And then she was like walking around with it and like picking up other things and shopping and picking up other stuff and looking at other things and whatever.
Why would this serve me?
What is this for? Well, then she puts it around her neck and starts shopping with it on. And we're like, what is going on here?
Yeah.
And then she like put it in her pile, her to-go pile, because she was buying a couple of things. And then she found this back massager and she's like, what is this for? And I was like, oh, back massager. You plug it in, you can like, massage your back. And she's like, why? What is this for? She said it about almost everything that she picked up. What is this for? And it was a lot of the stuff was like really common things. Well, then she's like, well, can I test it out? And I was like, yeah, absolutely. I was like, there's a plug-in over there by the counter. Or I was like, or there's one by the garbage can, which is one of the huge, big blue garbage cans. And it's not like it's tucked away or hidden behind a wall or anything. She's like, where? So she's holding the massage thing and the plug-in. She's like, where? Where is the plug-in? Where's the plug-in? And I'm like, right over there or right over there by the garbage can. She's like, where? Where's the garbage can? It's like, ma'am, you have to
Use your eyes.
You have to open your eyes and look. And I was like, it's right there on the wall. And she's like, okay, I got it. Well, then she starts massaging her back, which is fine. Which, like, me, myself, I'd plug it in and be like, click on, hear the buzzing that it works, and shut it off and put it in my pile or put it down.
Yeah.
Whatever. She starts massaging her back.
She puts it on her.
And then she's like, oh, it even heats up. And then our neighbor comes, and he is also a chatty Cathy, and he's very awkward and goofy as well. Well, he's like, hey, neighbor, like, and he starts shopping around and looking at stuff and whatever, and he's like, hey, I know you. And she's like, no, you don't. Cuts him off immediately. And he's like, I know you from somewhere. He's like, are you from bingo? And she's like, no, I don't play bingo. And he's like, oh, okay. Like, he's like, I swear I know you from somewhere. And he's like, are you from this spot? And she's like, no, I don't do that. And she's like, I stay away from men. And he's like, oh, okay. Like just still chatting with her. And then she comments and she's like, well, what do I do if I can't get to those, like, if I can't reach all the spots? And then he goes, I'll massage your back for you. My mom is beet red. And people are coming and going, and I personally feel that like, people were coming, seeing these two interact, and then leaving. Because like there was this guy, and he was looking around for a hot minute, and he had a couple things in his hand, and then he was like, sets everything down and puts it away. I think four or five people left because of these two. And my mom was like, get her out of here, get her. And it was like trying to rush her along a little bit, trying to get her out of here. And
the adults in the room, get her out of here.
Get her out of here.
We're just two.
And I'm like, I think she was probably here for probably half an hour, maybe 45 minutes. She was here for a long time, picked up everything. She picked up one of those antique glass juicers, and it's like, what is this for? And it's like, it's a juicer. For what? I'm like, to get juice. I'm like, ma'am, she was like 60. So I'm like, you cannot tell me that you've never seen a juicer.
Or know
what a juicer is. And then she was like, what are the little, she's like, I suppose the little
muscle gain.
And then she's like, I suppose these little grooves are to get the juice out. And I was like, yep, very good. And then she's like, what are these little chips here, these little gaps here? And I was like, I don't know, I think to catch the seeds of your thing. And she's like, oh, okay. And she's like, what are these here? And I was like, those are chips in the glass. Like there was just like little nicks in the glass. I'm like, this thing is probably 100 years old. I don't know. Oh my God, it was so awful. Well, then finally she pays for her stuff and leaves, and we're like, oh my God, such a humongous sigh of relief. She bought the neck thing. She bought a couple other things.
She was like, why would that be? Why would I need that
for?
And then buys it.
And then she buys it. Minutes go by, and mom is walking around just like cleaning things up and reorganizing. She's like, and she picks up the neck brace, and she's like, the lady left the neck thing here, the cell phone holder neck thing. And she's like, she's coming back. My mom's like, throw it in the house, throw it in the garage. Tell her she put it on the top of the roof and drove away with it. I hope she doesn't come back. So then we were like high tension for a couple hours waiting for her to come back and be like, can I get my neck thing?
I'm surprised she didn't.
So surprised she didn't. I'm so glad she didn't. It was so awful. And like, I'm like such a good person too, where it's like, take the hint that nobody wants you here. You know, like if people are like, yep, like really cutting you off, or like even like if I'm in a conversation and I'm scooting away.
But you are incredibly nice.
I'm incredibly nice, and I talk to people, and I have that thing in my brain where I don't shut up, except for with this lady. I'm like, you are running customers away, and you're annoying, and I have to explain what a book is or like what a juicer is to you. Like,
but even so, like in your head, you're like, I wasn't nice to this lady. Compared to the next person, I would argue that you probably still were very nice to this lady.
Oh man, it was so awful.
Like anybody else would have been like, shut the fuck up,
man, buy some shit or get out.
Get the fuck out of here. but you were probably still so nice, which I've said is such a nice trait, but it does land you in trouble sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes.
But it is such a nice trait because everybody just loves you. Literally everybody. But that includes everybody.
Yeah. It can be a fault of mine sometimes. But yeah, that was like the first item we're like, this is a bad start to the garage sale.
Oh,
We're like, yay.
first, I remember, you were texting me and I'm like, at work, just like,
yeah.
Sorry. Like, even if I were to go out there on break, I knew not to go out there on break now because that lady was there. And I'm like, I'm not getting trapped anywhere.
Yep.
And she'd be like, who's that?
Who's that guy? Yeah. My mom
Do you work here too?
My mom was just beat red. She was just like, I could just tell she was just like, I'm gonna strangle this lady.
Too funny.
Yeah. And then
there was one little girl that came.
Yeah.
This was it was just me and Sammy. And this little girl, it's only her at our garage sale. And she's like looking, this little 10 years old, 12 maybe, max, by herself with a bike. So she parks her little bike onto the left, comes in, walks around, like roaming. just remembering is so funny. And okay, remembering is also embarrassing too, you know? Okay, anyways.
Secondhand embarrassment.
For the whole thing, and it's just this little girl, so I was like, whatever, but just too funny. And she's so like 10 years old, you know, I'm like, she's not buying anything, she's just here to like
do
waste
something
time.
to do. Yeah.
I wasn't expecting much, but she did say hey, and I was like, hey, and then
she biked up.
Yeah. She like beelines it to me without anything in her hand, mind you. So I'm like, okay, what's she gotta say? What's going on here? She beelines it to me and she's like, hi. It's my birthday, so I was wondering if I could get something for free. I'm like, okay, what are you thinking? You know, thinking that she's gonna be like, that most expensive item over there, right. You know what I mean? Like the boots that,
yeah, like the ski boots that Sammy brought, or like
the most expensive thing, like a piece of furniture that was like $20 for free. I'm like, no. So I asked her, like, oh yeah, what are you thinking? Yeah, what did you have in mind? And she's like, can I get this? Like, she walks over the table and then brings it back, and she's like, can I get this bald cap?
It's like a Halloween bald cap.
Bald cap. And I was like, that is so okay. Like, one, probably not her birthday. I know what little kids are like.
Right. They'll make up shit.
Yeah, they'll make up shit, and like, especially if they, you know, necessarily have an older adult that's like, go do this, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's what I think happened. They're like, oh yeah, if you go over this garage sale, like, say it's your birthday and they'll give you something for free, you know what I mean? Like, I just feel like an adult had a hand in this.
Yeah.
To tell her to do this, because I'm like, what? And like, yeah, probably not her birthday, but I was like, oh yeah, like, whatever, sure. And then she like goes to leave, but she comes back and she walks close up to me, like, we're like this far away, you know. Now I'm sitting in the chair and she's like, yeah, like 2 feet away here, and she's like, goes to like give me a hug, but she's like, air hug, like mid going to give me a hug, she says air hug, and so I go to give her a hug and hear air hug. I'm like, oh yeah, air hug, but I'm like, well, like, what's going on? I was like gonna give her a hug, and she's like, air hug. I'm like, what the fuck? Okay, yes, air hug, like, whatever. And then she fucking starts walking away. And then, like, 30 seconds later, realized that she biked there and sprinted back.
And I was like, I gotta get my bike.
Like, this is so funny. If I was this little girl, I'd be like dying. But clearly there was no shame, because she's like, it's my birthday, can I get something for free?
Right. And then Thomas and Sammy,
this little girl who I don't know, sure.
And then Thomas and Sammy were laughing so hard because they're like, they can just imagine this little girl who's like, oh, yeah, bald cap, and then like puts it on when she gets home.
Yeah.
Like, she's just like sitting in her room.
Yeah.
Everyone surrounding her. Happy birthday to you with this bald cap on.
Oh, that's exactly what I said. Like, 3 hours went by and I was like, What brings me joy is that there's a little girl somewhere sitting in her room with a bald cap on right now.
So funny. That's it. And she's just stoked about that for her birthday.
Yeah. She definitely went home and just put that on.
Right. Bloop. I could just see like her long hair is like shit coming out of the edge, but it's like bald at the top.
Yes. Oh, like did a little video or something. That's totally what she did.
She's on TikTok now and was like, I got this bald cap by the garage sale.
Literally, yes. Oh, too funny.
Another small guest at our garage sale were the mice.
Oh my god, the mice. The fucking characters themselves. I actually thought about the mice this morning because I'm like, I had like a dream or something. Because that's the fear, is like mice in your actual house. But I know mice wouldn't go near our house with a 10-foot pole because of Alice
and the dogs. I think Beans would be like, I'm gonna try to get it, but I'm also scared of it. And Reggie would be like, I'm gonna fucking eat that thing.
Mice can smell
that too, yeah.
Animals.
And then Alice, and
they'd smell Alice, and they'd be like,
pass.
Apex predator.
Right. That's Alice. Yeah. That just described Alice.
But mice don't know that, you know what I mean?
Right.
They're like, oh, a fat cat lives in there.
I feel like Alice would be one of those cats where they're like, she like watches it walk away and is like watching.
No, she loves chasing.
I think her and Reggie would be a team and they would definitely get it.
Yeah, for sure.
And Beans would be like, I'm just gonna come along for the ride.
Beans, I don't think he's our dummy little boy.
He's our non-hunter little fat baby.
I don't know, because he kind of hunts Alice.
Yeah.
Which is annoying.
True. Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, the freaking mice, we'd just be like sitting talking and I'd be like, oh, there
goes one.
There's our little buddies.
I've caught 5 so far. And then we're like, it is my fault.
Okay,
because
so you've caught 5 mice total, but
there's more.
Could be
500.
The same mouse over and over.
Yeah, we learned that they will smell their home where they have gone.
They can smell up to like 15 miles or something
crazy like that.
Not
so I'm like,
15.
I could be just catching the same mice over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Because I keep putting them in a live trap and I'm bringing them to the lake over by City Hall and just dumping them in the grass.
10 miles away.
Yeah. So I could be catching the same mice over and over again, but
they can smell things like food and pheromones and other scent markers from up to 10 miles away. So like pheromones.
But do you think they would
other
learn
mice and stuff? So it's like they can smell where they were. So they.
It probably.
If you just put up to Lake George, they're just walking right back. So like that's where my house is.
Like, this
that was inconvenient.
This was inconvenient, but then you
nice
think
little John. Thank you.
Think they would also learn like this box that I got caught in last time that has food in it caught me again, and then I go over here and then I go home and go into the same box with the food in it.
If you have food right there and you know that you're just gonna be put 2 blocks down who's the dummy?
Like, I'm gonna get eaten between the lake and my home, so I'm like there's a lot of
there is chance of hawks because there's like no trees in that one section.
That's why I'm putting them there. I'm like, because if they get killed and eaten over at the lake, then I don't feel as bad, but I'm not gonna live trap them with like the glue paper. That makes me so sad.
Ew,
monsters, whoever does that, that's awful. And then there's the old coin guy.
Oh my god.
So
and you talk like this.
So he's like, what did he say? He was 86, 76. I think he said he was
old,
86.
ancient.
I think he was 86. He walks up and he's like, "Do you got any coins?" And I was like, "No, sorry." He's like, "Oh, I'm a coin collector." And we're like,
collect
"Oh,
wheat pennies."
He's like, "Okay." He collects all kinds of coins. And we're like, "Oh, okay, cool."
But he mentioned wheat pennies.
Wheat pennies, and I was like, and here's where my thing comes in.
That's literally what I was just gonna say. You're like I must inform this stranger that I too am cool.
I collect wheat pennies as well. And he's like, "Oh, cool." And then he's like, "Yeah, I'm 86, but you would never guess it." And he goes like this.
He does like a little shimmy.
And he's like, and he was really spry. And we're like, "Oh, cool."
Not spry though. He's old.
Well, no, but he's old and frail, but he's like,
and talks
gumming.
Because he has like no teeth.
Anyway,
that's what it looked
but yeah, he was like, I collect coins, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I collect wheat pennies," and he's like, "Oh, that's cool," and he's like, "You really need to look for 1909, and then he's like said all their codes, like pennies have codes on them, like D and SD and 75.9 on there. Like whatever. He was rambling about the coins, and I was like
mumbling and sucking,
and I was like, oh, I know I have 1909. He's like, I'd like to see that, and I'm like, was that like rude? You'd like to see that? Like you don't believe me, or like are you like, holy shit, I want to see those coins? I couldn't tell.
No, he was like, I want to see those coins.
I couldn't tell, and then he was like, and I was like, I'm not gonna go dig them out. Like there was like an awkward, an awkward pause where he's like, I would like to see those.
I'll let you know. I'll let you know if they're good.
And
I'd like to see them.
And
you're like, no, I'm not
gonna go upstairs because I don't have them organized. They're just in a jar. I'm like, I'm not gonna go upstairs, dig through my 300 pennies to find the 1909s.
Yeah.
And then he was like talking about how there's this one guy in town.
I thought you were gonna do it too, and I was like,
no, I'm not.
I was like trying to like brainwave you, like say no.
Here's me. Hold on, sir. Please wait.
And he would just be like,
and then he started talking about
he came back, didn't he?
No, he just stayed there for like a half an hour as well. There was a handful of people that stayed at our garage sale for a while, like they hung out.
There was a couple. I think that dude, I had to take a walk
away.
And there's somebody that came back that I was like, nope, can't. And I thought it was that dude.
Was it our one neighbor who talks about plants all the time?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Anyway,
somebody came back and I was like, nope, I gotta go to the bathroom.
Right. This is Thomas's 12th poo.
Yeah.
But anyway, so then he started talking about this one family in town, how he said he gave his kids each $100,000 worth of coins, collector's coins. And I'm like, I'd be fucking pissed off if my parents gave me, like, yes, $100,000 is amazing, but now I have only coins, which is like $12 worth of coins that are worth $100,000, but now I have to do all the work to sell them to acquire that $100,000. I'd be pissed off. I'd be so mad. I'd be like, that's so much work and so much energy. I'm just gonna throw them in the garbage. Like, too much money, too much work. And then he was talking about this other family in town, how the dad gave the kids each like $12 million worth of coins. And I'm like, that's even worse. Like, that's so much money I could have in my bank account and be rich and set for the rest of my life. But instead I have to do all the work to find the dealers, to find the highest bidder, to find the work. Because it's like, I could put this coin on auction that's worth $100,000, but somebody's only willing to pay $15 for it. And it's like, cool, now I just lost all that money that I could have had. And it's like, I feel like coin collectors don't think that way, but
you're passionate about this.
Yes, I love coins so much. But it's just like annoying because I'm like, that'd be so irritating. Like, I have to do all this work to get my $100,000. No, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
But then he hung around. He lingered and lingered and lingered and was talking about coins and lingering. Oh yeah, and then he pulled out his silver coin and he dropped it on the floor because silver makes a different noise than regular like cheap quarters. And he like chinged it on the ground. We're like, cool story, bro. Do you remember that? No. Thomas blacked out.
Yeah.
But then my aunt came over because she was going to music in the park, and and I was going to talk to her about something. Like, I was like, actually wanted to talk to her about something. And so I'm like, oh, like, bye, coin guy. Then keep shopping, let us know if you have any questions.
And he just followed you.
And he followed me around. And I was talking to my Aunt Brenda, and we're talking about our thing, and he interrupts us with his jokes. He told the same, like, 6 jokes over and over again. One of them was like, oh, my wife keeps telling me that I'm full of shit. I'm starting to think I stink.
No, my wife keeps telling me I stink. I'm starting to think I'm full of shit.
Something like that. Yeah. We're like, got it. And then he pulled out a picture of her. Her name was Loretta. They've been married for over 50 years. Loretta. She was very beautiful. They were in love. He loves her so much. And then, which is great. And so I'm like, I know half this guy's backstory. And
Loretta's just a doll at home.
Loretta's just one of those mannequins.
Yeah.
But yeah, then he told the same like 4 jokes over and over. He told like a Sven and Oli joke. And even Brenda was like, I think I'm gonna go. And I'm like, please don't leave me. I was like, oh my god. And then yeah, like I think he finally got the hint that I didn't want to talk to him anymore. And I'm trying, like, that's like another thing too, where it's like, if I'm having a conversation with somebody else that you don't know and you don't know me, take the hint that you're not part of our conversation. And then we're talking about something totally random, not coins. Scoot along, sir.
Yeah.
But then I was thinking, like, it's like an old man. He's probably bored and has nothing.
It's
better
because
to
you
do.
don't confront them, which I wouldn't either. So
Right.
I'm sorry, sir, but I really gonna have to ask you to leave.
But he did give me his number if we ever want to hang out and talk coins. So.
Oh, maybe you'll text him.
Yep, we're coin friends now. Oh yes, and then the bike guy.
Oh my god, the bike guy.
So, we were doing the sale, and it was Thomas, Sammy, and I, and this guy walks up, and I recognized him instantly, and I could tell that they didn't recognize who he was, and he was kind of awkward, and you could tell like something was going on, and he was shirtless, and you could tell he was just like a little off, and it was fine, whatever. People are all different, that's fine. But I recognized who he was, and so I knew there was a story behind this guy. And he was walking around, just walking, meandering, and I could tell Thomas and Sammy were tense. They were like shoulders up because they were a smidge awkward. He was walking around. He picked up a couple things. He's like, "Hey, can I get this speaker? Or I have a question. Can I trade you this speaker and these 2 little pocket knives for my bike?" And Thomas is like, "Well, we're trying to like make money, not just like give stuff away or acquire more stuff. We're trying to get rid of stuff and make money, not acquire more stuff." And he's like, "Okay, well," he's like, "I just don't really need the bike because I already have one." And he's like, "I know my bike is worth more money than this stuff." And he's like, "You can look it up. It's a Japanese bike and it's a specific company, blah, blah, blah." And he kind of went off on the bike a little bit. And I was like, I could tell that they wanted him gone. So I was like, "Yes, let's do it." I was like, "Absolutely." And then he's like, "Also, can I get a can of spray paint? Because there's spray paint behind me." Okay. And so I just...
What did he pick out other than the spray paint?
He picked out the speaker, the 2 pocket knives, and then the can of spray paint.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I just picked up one of the cans with the least amount of spray paint in it because I'm like, I'm not going to give him a full can of spray paint. That's expensive. And so I was like, whatever. Again, I just wanted him gone. And so he just left this bike here and took the few things. And then as he was walking away, I was like, bing, that bike was stolen. And then without skipping a beat, Thomas goes, "I bet that bike is stolen."
Yeah.
Like it took me like that time to put it together. And I was like, uh-oh, did we just acquire stolen stuff?
I bet my left testicle that bike was stolen.
And then I was like, "Do you guys remember him?" And Thomas and Sammy are like, "No, I don't remember him." And I was like, "He is this guy. We were out to eat at MC's. And I saw him way down the block. I saw him walking and I could tell something was going on."
Yeah.
And he came walking up and he was
like walking like
literally he was walking like a zombie.
Yeah.
And he was walking to every table, going next table to table, asking for money. And as he was getting closer, his face was covered in blood. I saw he had a medical bracelet on. There's something wrong. It's like he had to have been wasted or something. And from what I'm viewing them as, I don't know if this is correct, but they look like little stab wounds on his stomach because he was shirtless, and he had, I think he had a bandage on his arm as well. But they look just like little pocket knife stab wounds, just like all over his body. And he was, like I said, disheveled and shirtless and fucked up. And like everyone was so tense, and we're like, "Sorry, we only have debit cards." And then it clicked with those guys of who he was, and it was so awkward, super tense.
Yeah. But then
there's more to this bike.
Yeah, so the bike, we take the bike, he takes some things, and we of course put the bike out for sale because we don't, fucking ride bike. And
yeah, we're like,
so like the next week, somebody comes by him, and he was a character as well. He too was kind of like a Lorraine. He was like, "Oh, what's this? What's that? What's this?" He'd kind of inquired about, and it was just me, and I think it was just me. So it was just me, and this guy comes up and he's like, doing the Lorraine, asking about things, and then he points to the bike and he's like, "Oh, I should tell my friend that." Oh, and he knew Jerome, the previous owner of our home, and was like telling me stories. Apparently he used to be, oh, I wish I like wrote all this stuff down. That's why I said I wish it was like recorded so that I could like recall what he said. But he was like talking about Jerome's like past and stuff, and then he points to the bike and he's like, "Oh, I should send that, or I should show my friend that you guys have a bike for sale. His was stolen last week." So somebody had like this fucking dude, so that's why I gave it to us, which we're like, that was stolen. And then
we don't know if it was, but it's still we're still assuming.
Yeah. Which is like so funny because they do say like check pawn shops, but they don't say check nearby garage sales.
Right, exactly.
And it's so sad because like, yeah, he probably just like sold the knives and
Right. Well, and then we're thinking like he
like for
took
drugs or something.
He took the spray paint to huff the spray paint. And I was like,
Yeah,
I think my dumbass again, shut up, stop talking. I think I asked him if he's going to use it to like, does he do graffiti art? And I'm like,
you're like, oh, you're gonna use it for graffiti.
yeah. And I was like, stop talking. Like, get this guy out of here. That was the whole point of the interaction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You do have to yes and everybody.
I know. So bad.
You're like an improv, like that you live and breathe improv.
Yeah.
Yes and.
Oh man.
Somebody could be stabbing you in the stomach and you'd be like,
What kind of knife is that?
yeah.
That's really sharp. Do you have a sharpener? What kind of sharpener do you own?
Wow, that's really sharp.
This is really. Are you a surgeon?
Well, and then somebody came by the next day and
Oh yeah.
bought the bike, so it's out of our hands.
Yeah, right. The bike is gone. He's like, oh, I really like that bike. How much you want for it? We're like $10. He's
Yeah.
like, dope. Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. Bye.
Bye.
So
Thank
funny.
you so much.
There was one more lady, the bipolar first lady of the second day of the garage sale. So Thomas was like dicking around doing whatever, getting ready or something.
Oh yeah.
And he just put signs in front of our house, and then I had just put signs in the alleyway, and that's it. And then one of us was gonna go drive around and put the rest out. And so this lady was in the front yard, and Thomas was like, yeah, the sale is in back. And it was this younger lady, and she had walked in between mine and my neighbor's house, or our neighbor's house. And so it was just like an awkward intro. She's coming in from Michael's house next door, and then she starts walking around, and I'm just still putting stuff out slowly and, you know, whatever. And she was super chipper, super great, super happy. And then she's like, oh, I really need that luggage, and I know my kid will like these toys. And then I know my kid will like this. It's like a kid's play vanity, makeup vanity. But then she got pissed. I could just see in her face. She was like mad. And I was like, you know, like whatever, like, yeah, whatever you want. Like, and she asked if I could haggle with her. And I was like, absolutely. We want to get rid of all this stuff. And she's like, I'll give you $10 for all of it. And I was like, perfect. Sounds great. And then, like I said, she got mad, and she's like, I don't know where I'm going to put that now. And I don't even know if I need it. And she's like, where am I going to put it in my car? And she was like peeved. And I was like, well, if you don't have space in your car right now, I said, I can write your name on it and we'll just put it in the porch, and, you know, I won't sell it until you come back. And she's like, oh, okay, great. That's amazing. That's so cool. That'll be super helpful. And then she's like, oh, I think I can actually fit it in my car back up on an upswing. Well, then she's like, okay, I think I'm done. She paid me. And then she was going to walk around the side again with her stuff. And I was like, yeah, I can help you bring up this to your car. Because she's like, I think it'll fit. I think it'll fit in the front seat. And so I was like, oh, yeah, we can walk around like our backyard. Because I was like, that's my neighbor's house. And she looked terrified, like I was going to kidnap her or something. I was like, yeah, we can just walk through the backyard, no big deal. And she just looked scared. And I was like, we're on a low, or on another low. And so then she was like tentatively walking through our yard, which isn't huge, you know, it's not super far. Well, then we get to our car, and I was like, yeah, do you want me to just throw it in the back or the front or whatever? She's like, yeah, throw it in the front seat. And she's on a low again, peeved. She could tell she was peeved. And so they're like, okay. And I open up the door because she gave me permission, set it in the front seat, close the door. And then she was really snippy with me. She's like, thanks, thank you, you know, have a good day, and like just like acted super bratty and snippy. And I was like, that was the wildest. I'm so stressed out from that wild emotional roller coaster of this lady buying toys for her children. And I was like, that was fucking weird.
It was so funny. And I saw her at the beginning of the interaction because I was coming out the front door, but she was like already in between our and Michael's, you know, like on the wrong side of the fence, walking through Michael's yard.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, oh, can I go back here to get to the garage sale? And I'm like, yeah, like if you keep going, the garage sale will be on the right or whatever.
Yeah.
But like still weird. Also, she was like already like halfway through. So I'm gonna be like, no, come back.
Go around.
Yeah, go around. And that was the beginning of that.
Yeah. And then I have one more story, but it segues into Gay of the Day.
These are a few of our favorite things.
Are you ready for me? Okay.
Yeah.
So, my Gay of the Day aligns with my passion of true crime. And it also aligns with our garage sale.
Does it align with Reggie licking my knee?
Can everybody hear the licking on the... Why is he doing that? So I am going to tell you the story of Julianne Williams and Laura, or Lolly, which was her nickname, Winans. I don't know how to say her last name. Julie is from St. Cloud, Minnesota, and grew up here. She was really into athletics, and she was really big into the outdoors. She was also really, really smart, and she was bilingual and fluent in Spanish and English. And she was really religious. She was a really big activist in Vermont's Christ Church Presbyterian Ministry, and she actually formed a group called the Church Ladies, which was dedicated to helping LGBTQ plus people feel welcome in the church. That was kind of one of her, little side passions, was combining her religion and, gay rights and, having gay people feel welcome in religion, because, you're not supposed to be gay. And Laura was a wilderness guide from Michigan. She was described from a former classmate as having a vivacious sense of humor, a lust for life, and a passion for jam band music. She was also very smart. She earned a 4.0 GPA at Vermont's Unity College, and she also had a passion for outdoors. And that's actually where the woman met, was an outdoor program called the Woods Women. It's kind of by the Boundary Waters. It's now a defunct nonprofit organization. It focused on educating women, about traveling and like safe traveling for women, being in the outdoors, outdoor survival and things like that. And their friends and family reported on it being an instant attraction between the two women. So they were, they fell in love at first sight kind of situation. The women were dating for about 2 years when they decided to go on a trip to the Shenandoah National Park. It's in Virginia. They were there for a couple weeks, and it was Laura's friend's wedding on June 1st, and she promised to actually be there and was really excited for it. And she, all the friends were excited about this other friend's wedding, but no one was hearing for them for a while, and they were kind of getting nervous because they had been checking in on their trip. Her friends were talking, the friends and family were all talking to each other. Julianne's dad was really nervous, and he kind of just decided to say screw it, and he reported the girls missing on May 31st, 1996. The ladies eventually did not show up for their friend's wedding, and so they're like, this is really bad, because they were both excited to go, and they promised to be there. Their trip should have been over by now. That's when that was the end of their trip, was this wedding, basically. So they're like, and they were supposed to go to this wedding, and they're not here, so this is very bad. On the same day, on June 1st, there were reports of a golden retriever walking around the park by itself, and it had a collar on. And then the dog was turned over to park rangers, and they had saw part of the missing persons report that there was a golden retriever along with the two missing ladies. So they're like, this is probably the dog of the missing women. And then they're like, the park rangers are like, I have an idea. Let's let the dog loose and follow him around. And then, which eventually led to the girls' bodies. Trigger warning, they were nude, gagged, and bound, and their throats had been cut. So yeah, very random, very scary. What makes things worse in this situation is that it's a national park. So there's lots of people coming in and out, lots of people, spending the weekend, and then, taking things like that you're not supposed to, like people pick up garbage to be nice, and then, or leave things. So it's like, is it this random person stuff, or is it the killer stuff that's getting taken and whatever? Plus, like, people are touching things, people's hair is coming off, all that stuff. So it makes the investigation really, really hard. Because it was a national park, the FBI was involved, which is great. Good for them. Thank you for helping with that. And then it was also sort of a salacious story because it was a lesbian couple. So people were thinking, was this maybe a hate crime? And so it kind of got national news, which is good. National news plus the FBI helping, all great. But then it was also two sides of the story that were like, all the gay rights activists were like, we got to crack down, we got to do something, we got to help. But then there's also the flip side of it, the awful religious people who are like, good, two less gay people in the world. So like it created a lot of buzz and created a lot of news headlines and things like that. Even with the FBI's help and all this publicity, the case did go cold, which is really sad because it was also just so random. People are like, nobody knew, only their friends and family knew that they were there. You know, they didn't publicize it. There was no social media, so they didn't put it on their Instagram or their Facebook, you know, nothing like that. So it was just a dozen people knew that they were there. So it's just so wild and random. There were a couple suspects, nothing really solid though. The only reason why they became suspects is because they were found to be in the area. They were found to have similar MOs, things like that, but nothing concrete. So they're like, we can't really do anything. And then one of the dudes was released because he served his time, and then the other guy died. So it's like, well, we can't talk to the guy that died now. That sucks if he was the actual killer. We have nothing. That was until June 20th, 2024, when a special agent in charge of the FBI at the Richmond field office spoke at a press conference and stated that they solved the case. They found the killer was Walter S. Jackson Sr., who was an avid hiker. He liked to hike in that area. He went by the nickname Leo. They solved the case by DNA testing like they did with the Golden State Killer. That's how they did it. The people were like, we got to try this again with all of our new technology. Let's test all the things we have. And that's how they figured it out. I think it was a soda can or a water bottle or something like that.
That is so crazy.
Yeah. So
like, and just think about the advances that are going to be made in the next 100 years.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're going to solve every case.
Yeah.
Like if I was a serial killer, I'd be like, I'm going to get caught.
They're like, oh, actually, like there's like soils in the earth that can... They're gonna find something that just like solves everything.
Yeah, exactly. Like, so don't be a serial killer, please.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's how they solved the case, was evidence that they picked up. And then it's also crazy because from 1996 to now, the advances, which is great, but then it's like DNA degrades over time. So it's like whatever was on let's say it was a soda can, survived long enough to take DNA from to then solve the case. So that's really great. Crazy. So that's really cool. They solved the case. It's really old, from 1996 until June of this year. Bananas.
That is super cool.
The bad part is he died in prison. It was on a separate rape and kidnapping charge. Bummer. Like, yeah, he's dead. Good. We don't like him. But the bummer part is like the family doesn't get to give their victim impact statement, which I think is cathartic and like helpful when people do that. And then they didn't get like their day in court. They didn't get like judge him, but whatever, he died in prison, you know, just a worthless human being. Silver lining, he died behind bars. There's actually a book called Trailed, One Woman's Quest to Solve the Shenandoah Murders on this. I really want to get it and read it. Another bummer part is that they planned to move in together at the end of the summer after securing a home in Huntington, Vermont. And Julie had just recently accepted a job as a geologist near Vermont's Lake Champlain. So they were like on their way to like building a home and a happy life together, and then they were killed. So I'm like, that fucking sucks. And then the whole reason why I'm telling this story is because there was a lady that showed up at the garage sale, and very happy, very chipper lady, really cool. And she came to look at the plants. And so then, you know, I was talking to her about the plants, and I was like, well, do you want a garden tour? Let's take a garden tour. And so we were meandering around the gardens. She's like, oh, this is so pretty. This is so beautiful. And then she goes, oh, I recognize that hosta on the ground. And she's like, I forget the name, but I know it has the word hope in it. And she's like, I just got it because they just solved my niece's murder. And I was like, oh, shoot. Like, that's a heavy comment. And then I was like, well, not to like, I don't know how to word it, like diminish the niece's murder. But I was like, I'm really into true crime. Can you tell me the name of it? Like, if you don't mind me being nosy. And she's like, yeah, have you heard of the Shenandoah murders? And I was like, yes, I have. I know exactly what story you're talking about. And she's like, Julianne was my niece. And she's like, and they just solved the murders last month. And so I was like, that is wild. This lady is the aunt of the murder victim. And her and I talked about it for, you know, I was probably out there for like 15, 20 minutes with her. Just
the garage sales will freaking bring... And I suppose, yeah, it's St. Cloud. So
yeah, so she's from St. Cloud, and so is Julianne. And
there's so much. Yeah,
and so I talked with the aunt, and we talked about gardening and things like that, and we talked about the story, and that's my story.
Yay.
Kind of a little long, but
so long. Farewell.
Our Wiener Schnitzel goodbye.
Okay, so
please wait for our Reddit stories.
Yes. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for...
Next episode is gonna be Reddit stories
only.
Solely.
Because we talk a lot.
And stay tuned for that next whatever day.
Whenever Thomas finishes the episode.
Check us out on Instagram for all the updates. That's where we'll post
Yep.
it. Stay tuned. Bye.
Bye. Thanks for listening to FU.
New episodes every other Monday.
Follow us on Instagram for live updates.
Available on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts.